Okay, we are live. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Life Veg Challenge 1.0. We are having another live session today, and I have here with us guest speaker, Professor Fakorede, and as well I also have here Mr. Tunde. You're all welcome. Yesterday we had a very interactive session, and today we have another opportunity to hear about it. So you're all welcome to the live session. So we have here Professor Fakorede. Professor, Professor, Professor Fakorede, please can you kindly introduce yourself to the audience? Okay, I think he's having network issue. Professor, are you around? Okay, it seems his network is down. So I'll have Mr. Tunde, our project lead. Please introduce yourself. Let the audience meet you, sir. Mr. Tunde. Okay, I think there's a network glitch. So for those who have joined, thank you for joining. You're all welcome. This is the second live session for the Growveg Challenge 1.0. So if you didn't join us yesterday, you missed out, and today is another opportunity for you to learn about the Growveg Challenge and have questions answered for what you
Disappointing.
want to know about the Growveg Challenge. Yesterday we had a live session with Dr. Abidemi, and it was a very interactive one. People had their own questions to ask, and everyone's question yesterday was answered. So we have another opportunity today to get your questions answered. And today we have with us Mr. Tunde, who is the project lead for the Growveg Challenge. You're welcome, Mr. Tunde.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Yes.
Yes.
Please kindly introduce yourself to the audience. Let them get to meet you, sir.
All right. Sorry, it's a bit dark here. My name is Tunde Okwala. I'm the project lead for Growveg Challenge 1.0. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure having you tonight. It seems Professor Fakorede is still having a network issue. So while he's still resolving his network issue, Mr. Tunde, do you mind if I ask you some questions about the Growveg Challenge
It's all right. Go
to
ahead.
know about?
Can you, if you
Do
can
I
hear
go
me, it's all
ahead,
right.
sir?
No problem. Yeah, it's all right. No
All right,
problem.
sir. Professor
Hello.
Prof, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome,
Welcome back,
sir.
Prof. Sir.
So, Mr. Tunde, can you tell us what the
Yeah.
Growveg Challenge is all about and
Prof, can
when
you
would
hear us?
it be commencing? I think he still can't hear us.
Okay, it's all right.
So, kindly tell us what is the Growveg Challenge all about and when is the challenge going to commence?
Okay. Thank you. Well, basically, like Dr. Abidem Chalabi said yesterday, the need for the Growveg challenge is the idea that brought it was that the challenges facing food security globally, and we discovered that a lot of people actually have these lands available, whether in their balcony or land they have somewhere and they are not utilizing. So, in fact, we should be able to grow our own crops, our own vegetable crops, the food we eat. We should be able to grow it, and some of a lot of people actually have this land, and what they need is actually the knowledge to go about cultivation of vegetable crops. So that's the idea that actually bets the Growveg challenge, and the challenge is
Hello.
commencing. Hello, Prof. Can you hear us? Okay, so the challenge is actually commencing on June 1st, where participants will be tutored for 20 days online by 5 tutors, in which Professor Fakorede will be part. So they will be tutored online for 20 days on 5 different vegetable crops. tomato, bell pepper, cabbage, watermelon, and cucumber. And then after the 20 days, participants will also have 3 months to replicate what they've learned online practically. So we also replicate that on our own field. So as we are doing it, we're also posting a video of what we are doing and we are sharing it to the groups, and participants also replicate that in their background. For instance, if you are starting with land preparation, they do that. We are starting with seeding, they do that. Transplanting of seedlings to the field, they do that. Water management and irrigation, how do we fertilize? What is the proportion of applying fertilizer? What particular fertilizer do you apply? For pesticide, how do you apply this pesticide and the rest, and herbicide chemicals and the rest? So basically, participants will be replicating what we are doing on the field, and they will also be doing that. And at the end of the day, the top 10 participants will have the opportunity to. The top 10 participants will be given 200,000 naira each, based on their own submission, and there are criteria involved. There are criteria uh, we will use to gauge the performance of the participants, in which top two participants, male and female, will also have the opportunity to be grand ambassadors in every field. I guess that answered your question, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Prof, you're welcome once again. You're welcome, sir. Prof, you're welcome. We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can
You're
you hear
welcome,
me?
Professor Fakorede. Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. You're welcome. Okay, I think Professor Fakorede is having network issues. Sulaiman Mohammed, you're welcome. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you also for your response yesterday. And it's a pleasure having you here again today. So, Mr. Tunde, while we are waiting for Professor Fakorede's network
And
to get stable, I would like to know.
let me
Okay, I can hear you. You can go ahead. I think Prof is having issues with his network.
Yes, I think so. Kindly tell us the requirements for those who may want to register and participate in the challenge. What are the requirements they need for them to enable them participate and register for the challenge?
All right. Basically, what you need is just this program. This initiative is actually structured for beginners. So even if you don't have idea about vegetable production, this program is actually for you. So what you need basically is just willingness to learn and commitment. If you are ready to learn and you also have the commitment, you are ready to be committed to the program. Then you have probably your at the backyard. You might even do it. You might even grow vegetables in containers. Part of the curriculum covers that, how you grow vegetables in containers in limited spaces. Okay, so basically what they need is their own willingness to learn, their commitment. Basically that's it. And once you have that, you pay a sum of 35,000 naira, which is highly subsidized, considering the caliber of instructors that will take us. This is highly subsidized. We have the likes of Professor Fakorede, Dr. Akinde Abidemi Talabi himself, Dr. Richard, Dr. Sheyi. These are people who have accomplished a lot in their field. So bringing them on board at that rate for people to pay at that rate is actually a subsidized rate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tunde. Professor Fakorede, you're welcome once again. Can you hear us? Hello, Prof. Can you hear us, sir? Okay, I think the network hasn't stabilized yet. So, Mr. Tunde, I have another question for you, if you don't mind.
All right. No problem. No problem. It's all right.
Are there any specific type of vegetable participants are expected to grow in this challenge? Is there any specific vegetable that participants are expected to grow during this
Yes,
Growveg challenge?
of course. As I mentioned earlier, this we structured this training on 5 vegetable crops, and we are strategic in picking these 5 vegetable crops. We didn't just pick them. We pick them based on their market demand, their value in the market, also nutritional composition in this particular vegetable crop. So basically, participants will be taught how to produce tomato, habanero, cucumber, watermelon, and cabbage. So these are high demanding. These vegetable crops are in high demand in the market. They command high value. So participants have the opportunity to pick probably one or two. If you have the capacity, you can also pick three. But then you participant must pick at least one out of these 5 crops and replicate whatever we are doing on the field on their own field after the 20 days online training that will cover the theoretical aspects, which will be taken by the tutors. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tunde. Dr. Abidemi, we can see your encouragement. Thank you so much for the encouragement and thank you for joining us as well. It's a pleasure having you. So, Professor Fakorede, please, can you hear us, sir? Hello, Prof. Can you hear us, sir? Okay, the network is really down. So, Mr. Tunde, I will just go ahead with you. Can you discuss the importance of crop rotation and intercropping in vegetable production?
All right. So basically, we need to understand what crop rotation is in its entirety. So crop rotation itself involves growing different crops in the same area over a sequential seasons. Okay. So and one of the things that crop production does, especially for vegetable farming, is that it helps to prevent the buildup of pests and diseases to specific crops. So, for instance, if you are going to market, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello.
So, for instance, now, if for this particular production cycle you cultivated tomato, you can as well interchange it to another vegetable crops. Okay, so the essence of that is that it prevents specific pests and diseases to that crop by interrupting their life cycle. Okay, and also crop production helps to improve the soil fertility and the structure as each plant have different what's it called nutritional requirements and root structures. So this helps to aerate the soil and also helps to replenish the soil. Another intercropping, on the other hand, involves when you grow two or more crops together in the same space on the same area during the same growing season. For instance, now, if I want to cultivate tomato now, I can decide to grow tomato and basil together. That's intercropping. Okay, so I can decide to grow carrot and onion together. That's intercropping. Okay, so and for instance now for carrot and onion, the two don't they have different root depths, so they don't compete for nutrients. So the two can go you can plant the two together. Same thing with tomatoes and basil. Okay, same thing with lettuce and radish. Okay, so that's an example of intercropping, planting two or more crops together on the same area in the same growing season. Okay, while crop rotation, that's when you rotate your crops, okay, per growing season, per growing cycle rather. Okay, so that one helps to prevent pests and diseases, helps to nourish the soil. Okay, I think I've answered your question. Can you hear me? You are muted, though. You are muted.
You're
All right.
welcome, sir. You're welcome,
Okay.
Professor Fakorede. It's a pleasure having you on board. Please kindly introduce yourself to the audience, sir.
I to introduce myself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I am M.A.B Fakorede. Actually, I'm M.A.B Morakiyo Abiodun Bamidele Fakorede. I am 75 years old. Maybe that is why this is giving me so much problem today.
So sorry, sir. So sorry, sir. It's a pleasure having
Any,
you, sir.
yeah, I worked for 42 years in the Faculty of Agriculture of M.A.B University. 42 years after my PhD, I had worked for about 2 years before I went to the US for my master's and PhD, and then came back to the Faculty of Agriculture.
Mm.
I have trained a lot of students, and I'm very happy at the thought of this one, and I'm sure I'm looking forward to a lot of good progress in the country as a result of this effort. Thank you very
Thank,
much.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Once again, it's lovely having you here with us. So, sir, I'll just go ahead and ask you the questions we have for you. Do I go ahead, sir?
Okay? Yeah,
All
go
right,
ahead.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, can you share some diseases and pest management strategies that can be used to minimize chemical use and promote sustainable vegetable production? I'll say that again. Can you share with us some diseases and pest management strategies that can be used to minimize chemical use and promote sustainable vegetable production?
Yes, thank you very much. Did you think of that question yourself or somebody taught you?
I had it prepared ahead of time, sir.
Any agriculturalist will know that a disease or pest resistant variety is the best.
Hmm.
In other words, the first thing to think about is you want to grow a pest resistant variety. That is what is going to make the farming sustainable. That is what to control all the disease. That is what to make them the yield sustainably high. But in the case of situations where you are not sure of the variety that you are growing, then you have to use some agronomic practices, some horticultural practices in this case, to control the insect. For example, crop rotation. In crop rotation, you can plant tomato this season, and the next season you may want to put another thing there. Because if the diseases that affect tomatoes may not, I used may, I'm not saying will not, may not be able to affect another vegetable crop. So crop rotation can be done. You can also plant, do intercropping, in which case you grow two or three of crops together, and then you harvest them. And when the disease attacks this crop, it doesn't attack another crop, or another disease attacks that crop, so that you are going to have something at the end of the season. I think I've answered a bit of your questions.
Yes, sir, you have. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that. Dr. Abidemi, I can see your input. He says disease resistant variety is key to controlling pests and diseases. Thank you so much for that contribution, sir. So, Prof, I have another question for you this evening. Do I go ahead?
Yes. Go
All
ahead.
right,
Go
sir.
ahead.
I'm sure you'll be part of the panel of judges for this Growveg challenge, if I'm right. So how will the panel of judges assess farming innovation in the submissions during the Growveg challenge?
Well, it seems to me that you want me to tell you the answer to what we have in mind.
You can just
No.
give us a bit of what will be.
Anyway, innovations. What is innovation? Something that is new and you are trying, and then when you put it up, you may not even expect the result you are getting. You may be getting more than you expected, better
Yes,
results
sir.
than you expected. So if you, as a farmer, if you are as a veg farmer, If you take, for instance, a small, uh, like tomato, the tin of tomato, the empty tin now you have already eaten tomato, and then you do something about it, and you hang it in your balcony, and the thing grows, and it's making, and you don't put water, you don't put, I mean, you put water, you don't put soil, you know, and the thing will grow, and it's going to be beautiful. It could be an innovation. I'm just saying that. Oh, I'm not saying you can do it. Oh, I'm just saying that, and somebody can try to innovate uh, the hydroponics. Hydroponics is you are using an environment where the plant is growing, and you are giving it water without soil. And everybody thinks we must put anything onto the soil. There are crops now growing without soil. Okay, you can just put it, and then by the time we get there, you show us what you have done and so on, and we say, this is an innovation. Those are the kind of things we are looking forward to.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful insight. So we know those who will be participating, everybody wants to stand out. Everybody wants to win. They want to be part of the top 10 that will win the 200,000 during this challenge. So, Kaisa, can you share some tips or some examples of innovative farming practices that they can adopt to stand out in this competition?
Well, I don't have too many right offhand, but then there was a case. Somebody was growing uh, one of the vegetables in a balcony or something like that, and he was hanging it on the ceiling or in his balcony without touching the ground, and he will put water, and he was raising it inside some container. It was just a beautiful thing. Did you get that?
Yes, I did.
Yes, it's just a beautiful thing to the point that if we see it, we'll say, this is very wonderful. And he will harvest crops
Mm,
on it, he will harvest some produce on it, and we are going to eat it because the thing doesn't touch the ground, yet it's producing as something that is touching the ground. That is the kind of thing we are looking for. That's an example of an innovation that somebody did
yes,
before.
sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Prof. Now, we know you're a professional in crop production and protection. And sorry, in fact, you're an expert in it. We know those who are participating are looking forward to hearing from you. They've been looking forward to this event. So, can you finally share some advice that you can give to prospective participants out there who are also going to view this, who are also viewing this live session? Can you share a bit of advice to them concerning what they need to do in the Growveg challenge?
All right. The first thing I want to say is you should think of yourself first of all. That is, think very deep and convince yourself that you are interested. It is not just the money, not the 100,000, not the 300,000 above the 200, because you may be having 10 times that after you have started. So if you convince yourself that you want to be sure you grow into vegetable production, you will very much be enthusiastic about growing it, and then you will reap the reward. Maybe a year or two, you become a millionaire or a billionaire. That is for first thing. Next, you want to think of the land or the area you are going to use, whether it is land or balcony or a yard, because you are starting small. I remember yesterday, Dr. Talabi talked about start small. Yes, you don't need to start big. You can start big if you have all the resources. Yes, but in the absence of big resources, you can start very small. Maybe in a balcony, maybe in a yard. All right, and then it grows. With time, it will be growing. The third thing is this: those people who are taking part in this Growveg training,
Challenge.
to have it in mind that they want to become professionals. You want to become a professional. You don't have to be. You don't need to go to university to learn how to grow vegetables. All right, but you can become a professional in this business. And if you put it at the back of your mind that you want to become a professional, eventually you are going to become a professional by God helping you. And so many other things that one can give them to say. But these three I've told you is enough for now.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the advice, and I'm sure our viewers here are going to pick on it and use it to as an edge in participating in this challenge. It was a pleasure having you, Professor Fakorede, and our viewers. We've come to the end of the live session, and I'm sure all we need to know about the growth edge, the tips to growing our crops during this challenge, and also knowing how you be assessed during this challenge, and you know already how you would be able to prevent diseases and pests and manage pests during your production stage. So thank you once again, Professor, and we'll see you again. Everyone, thank you for joining, and thank you, Suleiman. Thank you, Dr. Abidemi, for the encouragement. Remember that we are going to be having another live session here again tomorrow by 9 p.m. West African time. So see you again tomorrow, and I hope that we'll join and learn what we need to know about the Growveg Challenge. Thank you so much all for joining, and bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye.